How do you annotate data for named entity recognition? Imagine trying to teach a computer to spot names, places, or dates in a sea of text. How do we tell it exactly what to look for? That's where data annotation for named entity recognition comes in. It's a process that helps machines understand human language by marking important parts of the text. When we talk about named entities, we mean specific things like people's names, city names, company titles, or dates. To get a machine to recognize these, we need to label them carefully in the data we feed it. The first step is to decide what types of entities we want the model to learn. Common categories include person, location, organization, date, and sometimes miscellaneous for anything else that doesn't fit. This step is important because it keeps the labeling consistent and focused on what matters most for the task. Once the categories are set, we create detailed instructions for the people doing the labeling. These guidelines explain how to identify each entity, with examples and rules for tricky cases. Clear instructions help make sure everyone labels the data the same way, which improves the model's accuracy later on. Next, we prepare the text for annotation. This involves breaking the sentences into smaller parts called tokens. For example, the sentence, "John visited Paris in July," would be split into words or tokens. We also tag parts of speech and group related tokens into chunks, making it easier to spot entities. Skilled annotators then go through the text manually, highlighting and tagging each entity based on the rules. They use special tools like Decano or Labelbox that make this process easier and keep track of their work. After the initial labeling, the data is reviewed to catch mistakes or inconsistencies. This review process helps improve the quality of the annotations. Sometimes, long texts are split into smaller sections to make annotation easier. When entities overlap or are ambiguous, the guidelines include specific examples and decisions to follow. This helps annotators handle difficult cases more confidently. To make the dataset even stronger, some techniques like swapping entities or replacing words with synonyms can be used to create more examples, which helps the model learn better. This annotated data is then used to train models like ChatGPT or other natural language processing tools. These models learn to recognize and classify entities automatically, which is useful for many applications like chatbots, search engines, or content summarization. It's important to remember that ethical considerations are part of this process. Ensuring privacy and avoiding bias in the data helps create fair and responsible AI systems. So, annotating data for named entity recognition is a careful, step-by-step process that involves defining categories, creating clear rules, manual labeling, and quality checks. This work builds the foundation for AI systems to understand and work with human language more effectively.